If I have joint custody, do I still have to pay child support? I'm Tulsa Attorney James Worth, and that's what we're talking about as it relates to Oklahoma law, the law in Oklahoma. If I have joint custody, do I still have to pay child support? And the answer is, if we're talking joint custody, sole custody, that is a separate issue from physical custody and a separate issue from child support. When we're talking joint versus sole custody, that means legal custody. That means decision making, means who makes decisions for the children or the child. And that is not a factor necessarily. Well, technically, it's not a factor at all in determining what child support is. So no, you can have joint custody and you can still be ordered to pay child support. Technically, you could have sole custody and be ordered to pay child support under very bizarre circumstances, because legal custody is not a determination. It's about who has physical custody the majority of the time. And if you have physical custody for over 120 nights per year, then that starts to affect child support and lower child support for you the more overnights that you have. But simply because you have joint legal custody, it is not an effect. However, if you have joint legal custody, it's more likely that you're going to have more amounts of visitation. So maybe you have a 50-50 schedule. So if the question is, if you have a 50-50 schedule, does that mean that you don't have to pay child support? The answer there is maybe. The fact that you have that amount of visitation does affect child support, and it could lower it ultimately to zero, but it doesn't have to. It depends on the disparity of income of the two parties. If one party makes a lot of money and the other party makes a little money and it's a 50-50 schedule, the party that makes a lot of money is going to be paying child support to the other parent. However, if you make around the same amount of money, or particularly if you make exactly the same amount of money and you have a 50-50 schedule, then nobody's going to be paying child support. It's going to be a zero child support case. But your circumstances, I mean, they may be different. The answer to this is going to be very specific to those. So you're going to want to talk to an attorney privately and confidentially to get legal advice. To schedule that with a lawyer at my office, you can go online to makelaweasy.com.